Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2008 Buick Lucerne Super. Up front is a 4.6 liter V8, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Lucerne for a couple of reasons. First of all, never driven one before, or even before today, knew how to say the name, Lucerne. But the second reason is the fact that this is the Supra. This was the king of the castle for the Buick Lucerne back in 2008. It actually debuted in 2008, and this particular car has all of the bells and whistles. So we have a bunch to talk about today. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers or merch. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form. You would get a video just like this of your own car. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. Now, getting back to the Lucerne, let's talk about what made the Super so special. So we did get that 4.6 liter Northstar V8 up front. We'll talk about that in a second. You also got different wheels. These were optional wheels, but only optional on the Super. It also gets the dual tip exhaust. Now the Super gets its own system, but all V8s get the dual tips. The V8s of this era also got the fog lights up at the front, and one of the biggest things you'll notice for the exterior is the 4 vents on the side. 3 vents would mean it's a V6, 4 vents means it's a V8. Inside, you'll find some different color patterns like this silver on the interior, the wood accents on the steering wheel, the power steering column, as well as these suede inserts in the seats. So a little bit more sporty. It also got the Magnaride suspension from GM, which was derived from the Corvette suspension. However, they changed it for this car, and it does have rear air suspension, but not front. However, it does have 4 sensors to make sure that the vehicle is riding level. I think that that's pretty interesting. But let's get back to that 4.6 liter Northstar V8 under the hood. Well, this one is the NHP version. So you could get the 4.6 liter Northstar on other trim levels of the Lucerne, like the CXS and CXL. You could just option the V8. But the Super got the NHP Northstar, meaning Northstar High Performance, and you got 17 extra horsepower, bringing you up to 292, which is fantastic. Now, whenever I say Northstar in a video, it's a slightly controversial engine because the very early Northstars were very, very unreliable. However, they worked out some of the kinks. Around 2004, they started using longer head studs, and that seemed to help out a little bit. However, at that point, the Northstar name had already been tarnished to regular consumers. So say what you want about Northstar reliability, you can do your own research. I will say one thing that the owner told me about this particular engine in the Lucernes and a lot of other GM products is that they go through front engine mounts like it's the Golden Corral buffet. You can get solid mounts, however, that will stiffen up the vibrations quite a bit. The stock ones are actually filled with hydraulic fluid, so kind of interesting there. Like I said, paired to it, 4-speed automatic, it's doing the job. With these big torquey V8s, you don't really need that many gears. Now, of course, fuel economy is going to be hurt by that a little bit, and modern V8s have a lot more gears than 4, but hey, this is just part of that era. Last but not least, of course, the Lucerne is front-wheel drive. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 gauges. On the left is my tachometer, in the center is the speedometer, and on the right is the coolant temperature and fuel. The steering wheel, like I said, does get those wood accents, and on the left I have my heated steering wheel option, very nice, as well as cruise control. And on the right, I have my volume, skip track, source, voice options, things of that nature. I will say on the turn signal stalk, I normally don't talk about it, but this actually has heated windshield wipers. However, they no longer work because GM found out, well, they started some fires. So it was actually a service recall to get these removed, but GM did not remove the button on the stalk. So you're left forever remembering what GM took away from us. And they didn't do that past 2008. To the left of me, I do have my headlight switches as well as my lane keep assist, which is fantastic for the year 2008. Such an early year to have lane keep assist. Really awesome. And of course, trunk release. Moving up onto the door, I do have memory seat options as well as heated and ventilated seats, as well as GM's signature get out mode that will move the seat back to help you get in and out easier. Then down towards the bottom of the door, I have my power mirrors, power windows, and power locks. that's pretty much it. Moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents and a hazard switch. And the infotainment system, this does have the optional navigation, which was a pretty pricey option back in the day. However, it has it, and like I said, this silver surrounding it is part of the Super package. And yeah, the screen is definitely outdated by modern standards, but you have to remember it's 14 years old. You can't hate on it too much. Then I have my climate controls. I do get dual zone, which is quite lovely. And that paired with the heated and cooled seats really makes this a very nice and comfortable experience, at least when it comes to temperature inside the vehicle. Then I get an ashtray and 12-volt outlet and my little traction control button. And then I have the shifter itself. The shifter is pretty nondescript, pretty classic GM, nothing really too crazy here, and I've come to know and love it in many other vehicles. However, this wooden shift knob on top was actually an option for the Super and was dealer installed at the time. Then I do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2008 Buick Lucerne Super, and unfortunately does not pass. I kind of expected it to. I don't really know of many other Buicks that have passed. These are the Buicks that I have tested, and you can see where this one fares. Then we do have the center console and the seats. Like I said, the seats have those inserts in the center of them. Really feel nice, part of the Super package. And just overall, GM really knows how to make a comfy seat, and that's very clear here in the Lucerne Super. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2008 Buick Lucerne Super, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I do have this center console that comes down. Very nice. I do get my own climate control vents back here. Very nice as well. Knee room, great. This is my driving position. Actually, it's a little bit further back than my normal driving position, so still fantastic. Headroom is good as well. This is a large, big body, big interior Buick, and so comfort, luxury, spaciousness are all adjectives that I would put with this back seat. Nothing else really to note back here besides the fact that you do get these same inserts that you get in the front seats. I really like the look and feel of that, but overall, very comfortable, very nice. Let's go hop around back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Lucerne here. On the key fob, I do have a trunk popper that will bring it up. And then once we're back here, we do have some floor mats, things like that. But it is a very big Buick trunk, as I would come to know and love from the company. Nothing crazy. I don't get like any crazy, weird compartments or anything like that, but it's a big Buick trunk, and that's exactly what I want. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is finished in white diamond tri-coat, which was a color from Buick at the time. And according to the owner, there's only about 298 Buick Lucerne Supers with this exterior color and the ebony black interior. Kind of a rare option. Not kind of, a very rare option. So that is definitely very cool. And I think the Lucerne is very handsome. You also got that special grille up front. Originally, that grille up front was for the Super only, and then they incorporated it to the rest of the Lucernes later in its lifetime. And again, it has those special wheels, the 4 vents on the side instead of 3. The rear valence is actually special to the Super, and of course the dual exhaust. So all that together makes this car super special, but let's get on to my final thoughts. I had no idea what the heck this thing was until Steven offered it to me. Yes, it does have these little pieces that make it distinguishable from other Lucernes, but passing it in traffic, you're not really going to notice those. Maybe the Super badge at the back, maybe the dual exhaust, but that's kind of it. This car blends in and isn't really well known. This is a performance sedan. It even says GM Performance Division under the hood on a plaque that only came on the Supers. And so I'd like to draw a comparison. If you're from the Midwest, you might have heard of this place, but there was this old burger place called Tom and Eddie's. It was around during the mid-2010s when I was in high school. I love Tom and Eddie's. Their food was amazing. And if you look at old reviews of Tom and Eddie's, everyone agreed it was really good food. The service was good. It was a nice, fast, casual dinner, but it had a big issue. I never really craved Tom and Eddie's. I never went out of my way for it. It just was there on my way home every once in a while. And so that's how I feel about this Lucerne. This is great content. It has that big throaty V8 up front. It has all these nice, fantastic modern features that some cars today don't even have. It rides nice, it's nice and quiet, it's luxurious, and yet no one knows about them. Now, it could be that GM failed to market this or make it just that extra percentage more special to make it stick out from the crowd. Or it could be the fact that the Super was announced and released in late 2008, right as the recession was hitting, and people weren't really buying luxury cars at that point. People didn't know what was going to happen, so they were very reserved when it came to spending money. This car, being a 2008 with all the bells and whistles, is quite frankly a unicorn. Or was it the North Star V8 that sort of turned people away? They were a little nervous about it. The decade before had not been very kind to the North Star, or really, the North Star wasn't very kind to its users in the earlier years. Maybe it was Buick starting to move towards crossovers and leaving the American market. Around this era, that's when they started really upping their production in China. Could it have been the Lucerne name? Like I said, I didn't know how to pronounce it before this. Maybe that turned people away. Maybe the reason for it was because this was supposed to replace the Park Avenue, and the Park Avenue had not only been around for decades and decades, but had such this big, comfy following. And then this took its place and kind of had new guy syndrome. There's many different directions in which you could point your finger as to why this car isn't better known and why it's no longer around. But doing that would waste precious time behind the wheel. And that's what I really enjoy about this car. I like driving this car. It drives, handles, and feels great. It is this sort of diamond in the rough. I didn't know it existed a few days ago, and now I've gone to falling in love with it. Not many cars have that capability. The Lucerne in 2011 was GM's final transversely mounted front-wheel drive V8 car. It's crazy to think about how times have changed, and I don't know if they're changing for the better. This car is super unique. Please leave a comment if you learned what this car was today, just like I have. I did not even know that these existed, and it's super cool that they do. Huge thank you to Steven for letting me take out his Lucerne Super. This was really, really fun to learn about, fun to drive, and fun to experience something so unique and something that we don't really see anymore. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.